So Karmelo Anthony is guilty? Coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, I want to say thank y'all for joining me today. So the Karmelo Anthony video is out. It's been released, as we all know. The pro-blacks wanted it. They claimed that the reason why they were hiding it is because they were going to show that Karmelo Anthony was innocent. Of course, we wanted it. Well, we all wanted it because we wanted to see what happened. At least us conservatives, anyway, the people who want the truth, anyway. But now we have it, and it basically shows that Karmelo Anthony is guilty of murder. And everything that these pro-blacks who claim that they saw the video were saying is absolutely wrong. So anyway, let's go into the video and so everybody can see for themselves. Now that's Karmelo Anthony going under the tent. You can tell he has a different color shirt. It's not black like everybody else. And as you can see, he didn't just he wasn't under the tent and everybody just rolled up on him. They were already there and he walked up under their tent. And we're going to watch the whole 4-minute exchange. And so we see the full incident happen. Now, as you can see, they're talking to him and there are plenty of bystanders are just walking by and looking at what's going on. And then people are walking up. And if you zoom out, you'll start to see more people passing by that are looking at what's going on or looking at the commotion. Now, if someone gets up, I assume that's Austin was going toward Karmelo Anthony. And I'm guessing this is where they started to get exchanged in close proximity to each other. Again, you see another bystander comes up and stand up at the tent looking at the commotion that's going on. Okay, we're 2 minutes into the video and there's no jumping, there's no beat down, there's no stomping of anyone. And Karmelo Anthony's life does not appear to be in any danger. And so far it's long enough to tell him multiple times to leave the tent. Now we're at the 2:30 mark and they're still going back and forth with each other, as you can see. Now if someone shows up in this yellow poncho and they sit down under the tent. Don't know who that person was. Okay, we have 3 minutes out, past 3-minute mark, and once again, still no fighting. There's absolutely, you can't see much, but you can tell absolutely no one's fighting here because you can tell the difference between fighting and standing around. Another bystander passing by and looking at the commotion. And you can really see more people doing this if you zoom out. Now we passed the 3:30 mark once again. Clearly no fighting going on. They're just exchanging words. And more people are showing up and looking at investigating what's going on under the tent. Now we're at the 4-minute mark. Once again, nobody's fighting, nobody's surrounding, nobody's ganging up on anyone. Karmelo Anthony is not surrounded by any stretch of imagination. Now we're soon to get to the part of the actual confrontation, physical confrontation. Now that's Austin pushing and Karmelo stabbing. Okay, so now let's look at it in slow motion. You see Austin Metcalf pushes Karmelo Anthony, and then Karmelo Anthony follows right immediately up with stabbing Austin Metcalf. Then he runs from under the tent, and then he runs down the bleachers and tries to run out of the stadium. Now it's obvious there's not really nothing that you can see in this video unless you zoom in under the tent. Now, clearly, if you watch it, again, it's fuzzy and blurry but because you zoom in, or because you have to zoom in, but clearly you can see there's no jumping going on. There's no ganging up, nobody ganged up on anyone. Okay, nobody surrounded Karmelo Anthony. He was not surrounded. If he was surrounded, he wouldn't have been able to run away. Okay, there really truly there was no fighting at all. There was absolutely no fighting in the video. Okay, there was no one walked off in a different direction to distract, no coaches. Okay, and he was under the tent for long enough for someone to say leave 15 times. For him to be told to leave 15 times, more than long enough in over 4 minutes. Basically, there were 2 shoves in that, if we can see. There were 2 shoves. Austin shoved Karmelo. Karmelo stabbed Austin. Again, like I said, it was fuzzy. You can't make out the people, but you can see the motion. And soon after, just after, Karmelo got from under the tent and ran. So there's really no argument here. There's no more argument. Okay, there's no evidence of imminent danger to Karmelo's life. There's no evidence of a threat of severe bodily harm to Karmelo. Clearly, he refused to leave, and they had every right to tell him to leave under temporary habitation laws. So it's clear, as plain as can be, that Karmelo Anthony is guilty, and there's really no argument that anyone can make. Although niggas are still going to make arguments. They're still going to be doing somersaults and backflips and triple backflips to try to find some angle to say that he was innocent. But at this point, we just start trying to hear the foolishness anymore. But you see it for yourself. And as always, y'all, until next time.